Hey guys, this is Matt here on Just for Fun. After getting several questions in the comments from a few different players over time, I thought I would do a brief tutorial on how I actually get the cards for the decks, right? So there's several different ways to go about it, and you know, I'll be honest, I do pay money for this, right? So it would be nice if I got donations or contributions, but no, just teasing. But yeah, so like the first step is you need Magic Online event tickets, and there's a few different ways to get those. The best way is to sell cards you don't want, or sell booster packs that you've won in draft, right? So if you're starting up and you want to play standard and build a standard collection, the best thing to do is draft, okay? Because you'll end up getting a lot of the cards that you want to build with, and you can sort of start making a deck on your own that way. Also, you'll win packs, which you can trade for tickets to buy the cards you're missing to fill your deck, or you can use your packs to keep drafting until you get all the cards you need, and so forth. You know, for me, I like to play a lot of Modern. It's a much bigger playground. There are a lot more toys available, so you know, drafting doesn't always work for that. And depending on the set, you know, if you're good at it, you might win a lot more. If you're not good at it, you might win a lot less. If you hate it, like I hated Cons draft or Theros draft, I freaking hated. That was the worst. You know, you might not end up playing it that much, right? So, you know, if it's a set that you really love, like I really loved Innistrad, and that's you know, I'm very excited for Shadows over Innistrad, by the way, but that was possibly like the best draft format of all time, so I ended up getting a lot of cards through drafting that set. Anyway, the other way to do it is to just buy the event tickets. Now, you can buy the tickets from outside vendors, and you might get lucky and get them for 97 or 98 cents or whatever, 95 cents a piece. But I don't think that's as reliable and trustworthy as going through Magic itself. Plus, you love this game, right? If you're watching this, you love Magic. If you love Magic, you shouldn't be, you know, you should support the company that makes the game possible. All right, so buying the products directly from the game, I think, is a way of supporting the company, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. They're bringing you this gift, this game that you love, and you know, you should support them. So you go to store in Magic Online, find event tickets, hit add to cart, dial in the number you want, put in your credit card information. Not doing that on camera, and and get the tickets you want. They will then go to your collection. So if we, let me change that. I don't want to spoil that deck. Then if you go here up to other products, it will show you, first of all, your avatars or whatever, but if you hit sort by quantity, usually is the way I do it, you can find how many event tickets you have. When you see these event tickets here, you right click on them and you hit add all to active trait binder. Okay, that's step one. Before you go shopping, you need to do that. Okay, the next thing is, you know, obviously you want to build your deck, so that's a whole other issue. I'm going to get into another episode about that, but you know, one way to do it is to use the Magic Online software itself. You know, open a new deck. Let's call this deck new deck. Let's call this test baloney. Alright, and we'll hit OK. So test baloney comes up here. You go to cards, and you can sort by what you want. So if we want to just look at modern legal cards, and you see it narrows down the number of cards in the collection. Let's say we want this to be a white deck, and then it'll do that. You can sort by, you know, mana cost is what I usually sort by, and go through there and find, okay, I want this to be an Ardent Recruit deck. Add them there, and let's say you wanted another card, but you don't have it, right? Like, okay, let's say I wanted to run 4 Dispatch, right? If you just double click again on the card, it'll add it. Unfortunately, it adds it foil, which is annoying, because then you have to go back and change it. But you know, the other way to do it is to go to quantity, change this to 0, and under versions, I usually do show non-foils, so it makes it easier. So then if we go back to Dispatch, it'll show that, and then we can add the 4th one. Okay, now it'll put this yellow caution tape around it and this flag to let you know that you don't have that card in your set. Once you've built the whole deck and you save it, then it will allow you to you know, find it with the search tools when you go to buy the cards, and I'll explain that in a second. So let me, I'm giving way too many spoilers here. Let's go to the mill deck, right? I want to use this as an example, and let's say in the mill deck I wanted to cut an island and a swamp, and I wanted to add 2 Dark Slick Shores. So here it's not going to come up because I have the filter set to white. So let me take out white, and there it comes. Okay, so you can see it tells me quantity 0. I don't have any of those. So if I add to here, you know, now they show up in the deck. Alright, and do I have, I'm gonna add 2 more because I want to buy 4 of these, honestly. And what I'm gonna do, because I don't want them to mess up the main deck, I'm gonna just drag them to the, I'm gonna drag 2 of them to the sideboard, just so they're out of the way. I'm actually buying these for a different deck, but you know, whatever, you get the point. So now the next thing to do here, and I'll back this up, is to go and find the best price. I don't trade with individuals because it's too annoying and time consuming. The whole point of Magic Online for me is convenience. So in order to take advantage of that convenience, I use the bot services to trade for you know, for the cards that I want. In order to find the best bot prices, there's several different sites you can use. You can use MTG Goldfish, I've heard of. You can use TCG Player, you can use MTG Vault. There's lots of different websites. The best one, in my opinion, is MTGO Wiki Price. MTGO Traders is another one, but that's an individual vendor. They have a great website, but it'll only show you that one vendor's deal, so that's not really a good one. This shows a lot of the major vendors. So the other nice thing about this, and I'll show you that in a second. So you just pull up MTGO Wiki Price, type in the name of the card you want, search it up. By the way, it doesn't work well on Chrome for some reason, so I end up having to use Internet Explorer for this. So it shows you, funny enough, the price history of the card, and I love this because actually, I don't know if you guys know what I do. I'm a financial advisor. That's my job, my day job. So you know, I find this really funny because it's kind of like looking at the market or the performance of a mutual fund or something like that. But yeah, it gives you the price history of the NAV of the card, and it shows you what the bots are buying it for and what they're selling it for, and sometimes the spread is high and sometimes it's low, you know, and so forth. So right now, you know, these have been in a band for a while. There's no chance of them getting reprinted anytime soon, at least in the next 4 sets or so, maybe after that. But it shows you that the sell price is averaging around 2.5 right now, whatever. So if you go down, it shows you who's buying them and for what price. So let's say you had some that you wanted to sell. That's what you'd see on the right hand column. On the left hand column, it shows you who's selling them and for what price and how many they have. So if you want, like for example, I want 4. So even though MTGO card market, okay, has a very low price, they only have 3 of them. So I don't want to get only 3. I could go to Memnarch and get 4, right? But I don't have any credit with him, and I'm unlikely to use him again. So I'd rather go to one that I'm going to use again. So I'm going to go to VRT Store-Bot here because I have a big credit with him. So by the way, if you put your username in there, it keeps track of how much credit you have with them. Basically, you can't trade a partial ticket, so they have to kind of hold the change for you. So he has 4. The price isn't really that much more. It's it's 3 cents more or whatever, or 9 cents more than card market, right? 3 cents more than MTGO tickets, and he has 4 available right now. So now what I'll do is go on the trade, and in the search box you can see I've already typed VRT store and hit search. It brings them up here. So now when I'm ready to do the trade, you go to the right side of the one you want and hit trade. So of course he's busy right now. So that's kind of annoying. So let me try MTGO card market. So sometimes you have to jump back and forth a little bit in order to get together with somebody here. Waiting for him to accept. Okay, he's accepted. Here we go. So if you go, you'll see in the middle it'll populate their whole trade binder, what's available. You can see this particular one is a huge one. He has 48,000 cards available, you know, so you could pretty much search through here for whatever it is you want, and start buying them. Ooh, that's snazzy. We're not looking for that right now though, Matthew. Okay, so you could use the search. You could go in here and type Dark Slick Shores. You know, that's one way to do it. If you've built a whole deck and you're trying to fill up your deck, the best way to do it is if you go to search tools, because this will search for all of them at the same time. Most of the bots have a timer, and so you might time out before you find all the cards you need. So if we go to, no, not trades, if we go to mill and hit select, okay, it's going to search for what we're missing. Okay, so it says, so he says he has 3. It says we're missing 1 Dark Slick Shores, so there's 3 in there available for trade. So it automatically puts them in the trade binder, and then we can hit, and it automatically pull from your collection the number of tickets you need to complete the trade. So it's going to take us 6 tickets to buy these 3 Dark Steel Shores. So if we hit, and then in the right it'll tell you how much credit you have remaining. So after this we'll have 0.4 remaining in case there's something else we wanted to pick up. So now if I hit submit, what it'll do is it'll complete the trade for you. Gives you one last chance to confirm before you're done. You could cancel if you want. We'll hit confirm, and there you go. Now they're added to our collection. It brings up the chat window, which is annoying, but yeah, it shows you, okay, we added 3 of those to your collection. So now if we go back to collection, it tells us that we're missing 1. So if I back that out, now we have 3 in this deck, right? So I can go and now I can add Dark Slick Shores to any of the other decks I want to add it to. So that's a basic tutorial on how to trade on Magic Online and get the best deals and whatnot. So if you have any questions about that, please comment, and I'll be sure to write you back about this, because it's important that you learn. Yeah, if you have another way to complete decks is if you have a friend, you can borrow cards to each other by going into trade window and lending them in exchange for nothing, and then get them back later or whatever. So that's another way to do it if you're trying to build a deck for an event or to record with or whatever it is that you like to do. So anyway, please, if you have any questions, comment. I'll be glad to get back to you about it. And yeah, I mean, if you have suggestions for people as to other ways to do it, that's fine too. But this is the way I like to do it. I find it to be the fastest and most convenient way to get the cards to make the deck. This is why I don't have the patience, by the way, for Paper Magic, because to try to find cards, yeah, you can go on STG or whatever, but then you have to wait for them to come in the mail. This is instant gratification. If you go to a card store, they may or may not have what you want, or you end up looking through binders or pulling out shoe boxes and looking through the commons and whatnot, and it's a giant pain in the ass, and then you have to sort all the cards. And if you want, great thing about Magic Online is if you don't have to have 8 copies of Dark Slick Shores if you want 4 in 2 different decks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you only need 4 of them, and then however many decks you want to build with them, you don't need multiple copies. It switches them for you. It sleeves your cards for you. It's so much easier than paper. God. Anyway, that's why I love it. I love Magic Online. I love you guys. Enjoy. Peace.